Welcome to Canadian PGA TV. We're here at the Golf House, the home of the RCGA, and actually standing inside the Canadian Golf Hall of Fame, a place that Scott Simmons, the CEO of the RCGA, and myself don't find our names or our pictures yet, Scott, but plenty of our partners and members and friends are here behind us. But I want to ask you a bunch of questions about the Canadian PGA and our partnership, but also you apparently just got your 10-year pin, which might be confusing. I guess you were 7.5 years before, then you had a little bit of a hiatus, came back, and now 2.5 years now. But you've been around in the job now for a couple of years, and how much has your job changed in a short period of time?
Oh, it's a great question. And yeah, it has been 10 years. 7.5 as director of marketing and communications back in the 90s, and then left for 7 years to try something else, but came back to what I love, 2.5 years as CEO. But I guess to answer your question, the biggest change, I guess, in my mandate and the RCGA's mandate has resulted in a decision that was made in 2005. In 2005, the federal government named the RCGA as the NSO for Golf in Canada, NSO standing for National Sport Organization. And what that basically means in simple terms is that they're now holding the RCGA accountable for the growth in participation and excellence in our sport, which is completely different from the historical mandate of the RCGA, which was to do things, amongst others, like run this Canadian Golf Hall of Fame and Museum, but also oversee the rules of golf, amateur status, handicapping, slope rating. All of that still exists within our mandate, but now there's this huge responsibility to be the catalyst for growing participation and excellence. And that's really changed our organization, our strategic plan, and we can't possibly fulfill that mandate without the partnerships of organizations that already exist across Canada, like our provincial golf associations, like the Canadian Tour, like the owners, like the general managers, but most importantly, the CPGA.
Well, that's a great point, Scott, and also I want to ask you about that partnership that we have with you. I know you've been a big supporter since the day you arrived about us working so closely, but tell us a bit more about why the Canadian PGA and RCGA have to work so closely together to make golf in the future be so viable for the future of golf.
Well, again, it goes back to this NSO mandate. If we're going to be held accountable and be successful to grow participation and excellence in the sport, we have built what I can humbly say is world-class curriculum for the development of the game right from the grassroots. And let's talk about the Golf in Schools program as an example. There's 10,000 elementary schools in this country, 3.5 million kids going to those schools who have historically not been exposed to the game of golf. They're being exposed to all other sports, which really are competitors of ours collectively. We've now got a world-class program that we launched last year, and we're now into 500 schools. We need to get into closer to that 10,000 number. So that's just the base of the pyramid, if you will. And then you move up to the new Learn to Play program, CN Learn to Play, that's been developed in conjunction with the CPGA and is a best-in-class program for CPGA professionals to use at their clubs to teach young kids how to play the game. It's a 7-8 stage program, 56 individual lesson components. It could take up to 2 years for a student to go through it. You keep moving up that pyramid and you get right to the top of the pyramid, which would be the current Team Canada program, where Nick Taylor and Matt Hill and Modemi LeBlanc and Sue Kim have achieved their success lately. And then what we're working on together is this young pro gap, we've called it. But what do we do for our young kids who graduate from the Team Canada ranks and go on to pursue a career in professional golf? Well, everything in that pyramid requires best-in-class coaching. And the best-in-class coaches in this country are going to come out of the CPGA. So whether it's the math teacher teaching the Golf in Schools program, having a CPGA pro come in from the local club and create that bond, that community relationship at the club level, and getting kids to come out, learn the game, and be taught and coached by CPGA professionals is crucial. And you can make that statement all the way up the ladder right to Team Canada. Think about Team Canada and the role, let's say, Henry Brunton plays. If we don't have best-in-class CPGA coaches and instructors in this country, nothing will work.
Well, Scott, one final question for you. Our PACE program, we have a big vote on March 25th for our membership, and we're hoping that it passes. And I know that we've shared some information with our new CEO, Gary Bernard, and some of our executives that talk to you. And you see it as a great benefit for the game of golf and for RCGA. And tell us what you see as the biggest benefits for the program.
I think it's fantastic. I support it 100%, and I think that there's a lot of benefits, but I think the two key ones are, number one, I think it will make a career in the CPGA, that much more desirable and accessible for young kids who are going through the various management programs at college level. They'll see that becoming a best-in-class CPGA professional will be an easier road to maintain with some of the changes that have been made through the PACE program. And number two, I think the stats, I could be wrong, but I think of the approximate 2,000 golf courses in Canada, I think about only 1 in 2 or 50% have a CPGA professional on staff right now. Well, I think we need 100%.
Yeah.
And I think the PACE program, unless I'm mistaken, the changes that are being made will ultimately, hopefully, get that penetration from 50% much closer to the 100%, which would be good for the game, for the CPGA, and for the individuals involved.
It's great, Scott. Well, you're a great partner of ours, and we've always enjoyed working with you. And hopefully March 26th, we can try and tackle some of these hurdles and have a great year in 2010.
Look forward to it, and all the best to everyone in 2010.
Thanks, Scott.